I'm David Adamson. I'm a member of PlayMakers Repertory Company. I'm on the faculty as well, and I was a student here in the late 70s getting a Master of Fine Arts in directing, of all things. As a graduate student in the late 70s, I was in a production of Macbeth and then a production of Hamlet. And we also opened Playmakers. Well, we opened it with The Crucible, but our next show was All's Well That Ends Well, and I was the assistant stage manager. I was invited back in '85, spring of '85, to do a rep season, and that included Measure for Measure, which is a wonderful play. Greg Boyd directed it, and it was. And then back in '96, more or less full time, and did Macbeth that first year, and Othello the next year, and Cymbeline, and As You Like It, and The Tempest, and then a bit of a hiatus. And I've never thought of the Paul Green as having volume problems. It's 500 seats, 560 with the standing room seats, and to me it always has felt intimate. That I can stand center stage and it feels like somebody in row H, I'm having a personal conversation with them. I worked on a production of Lear once. Again, I talked about, mentioned doing Shakespeare festivals, and when you do Shakespeare festivals, you begin to build up a bit of a catalog of having done a lot of them. I did Lear at the Colorado Shakespeare Festival a long time ago when I was a young man, and I was one of the hangers-on. I was Curran, and I've often described Curran as sort of the B-team Kent. So this is going to be a real thrill for me to get to read this big role, even though we're going to do it in a slightly reduced fashion. The thing that, it's a little frightening, to tell you the truth. How do you do those? How do you do those in a reading situation? The lines are easy. They're in front of you. You read the lines. You make sense out of them. You don't ignore the fact that he's an old man and that he's a forgetful man and he's a vain man and he's you do all of the same work that you would do if you're getting ready to rehearse the play to put it on and figuring out who that character is. But just cranking up the energy while you're seated here, we'll see how it comes out. I'm looking forward to it.
I've had first loves and worse loves than ones you could imagine. Lost loves and frosty loves, I've lost the love to fashion. Love that I would want.